Hello, everybody. Welcome to the virtual TrekCon 2021 Science Quiz Show.
Woo! We need a theme song.
I'm glad you all are here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with some introductions of our amazing hosts. Katie, do you mind going first?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm meteorologist Katie Nickolaou. A lot of you guys know me on Twitter as @weather_Katie, and I am actually a meteorologist. So I'll be doing some interesting weather-related questions for this quiz.
Oh, me. I'm Ann Marie Segal. I'm a MD doctor. And so my questions will all be, I would say human health, but really just species health related.
Okay, that sounds great.
Or comparative physiology, like bones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Very cool stuff. And I'm Mohamed Noor. I'm a biology professor at Duke University, and I'm an occasional science consultant for Star Trek. No, we're not going to have anything from Discovery Season 4 in here. But welcome to you all. So the form, my questions will be heavily in biology, but more on the genetics evolution side rather than the medical, though Dr. Ann Marie and I will overlap a little bit. So the way we're going to go about doing this is we're gonna ask you the question. We'll have it pop up here on the screen. Please answer the question in the chat. So just type the answer into the chat. And what we'll do is we'll pick the first 3 answers every time, and they get points for every round. They equal points whether you're number 1, number 2, number 3. So just go ahead and type that in there and put it up there, and then we'll see who gets the most points at the end. I'm going to come back to something about that in just a second. But let me tell you what the prizes are. So first prize, courtesy of Walking Art Made by Malissa, by our great friend and convention sister, Malissa Longo. You will get a LLAP mask. Not this one. Awesome. You'll actually get a new one. It won't have my spit on it.
Yeah. Oh, but what if I want to clone you?
Yeah, no cloning.
You can clone Mohamed.
But anyway, that's first prize. Second prize is a significant step down. Second prize and third prize are the same, by the way. They're a BioTrekkie magnet. So here's
hey,
no, they look great.
Refrigerator.
They look great on my freezer.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, my light's really dim there. Couple of things now. The order that we're going to pick it is the order that we see it on YouTube. Now, one thing I want everybody to make sure you understand is that the order you see it on YouTube may not be the order we see it on YouTube. Because when you type it in and you hit enter, it shows up on your screen right away, but there's a delay. So you might think you were number 1, 2, or 3, but in fact, you may have been 4, 5, or 6 on everybody else's screen. So apologies for that. It's not fair. I understand. And I understand that people have varying internet connections. The questions are also not fair, so we're just keeping that theme of not fair.
And I will say also, if you start getting a few wrong, keep playing because there are a lot of very hard questions, so it won't be coming down to just 1 or 2 questions. I don't think.
Yes.
At least it wouldn't be if I was playing.
Yeah, it probably will be people who are fastest will get the first few, but then later it's going to be whoa, some of the fast people might drop out because it gets noticeably harder.
Oh yes.
So, without further ado, we're going to go in alphabetical order and just get cycling through it. So, Katie first, then me, then Ann Marie, and then back to Katie, me, Ann Marie, et cetera, et cetera. So, are we ready to get started?
Ready to go.
Medallion says, "Bring it on."
Yeah. Oh, and one other quick thing. After we get the winners for each question, we'll have a 1 minute-ish, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute description of the actual underlying science. So, it's actually still educational, not just a quiz show.
Exactly.
All right.
Science is fundamental. Yes.
Science is fundamental indeed. Oh, we have a very nice comment from one of our great friends here. Actually, that's not the one I tried to click, but that was,
go on.
TrekCon. This is what I was just trying to click there.
Yes.
We're just here for the comments. I love it. All right, let's get started. Katie, you're up first.
All right, guys, here we go. Question number 1. What popular Star Trek planet is known to have a weather control grid that keeps conditions perfect year-round? This one's one of those easy ones. This is softball right now. Hopefully. But yes, I'm already seeing answers coming in, flying in. Here we go.
They're flying.
Oh, look at that. And everyone's getting it right.
Oops.
How about that?
Clicked the wrong button.
Now, fun fact about this one. For those of you who are sending in the answers, it is highly unlikely that we will ever be able to create a weather control grid. Just to put it into perspective, a single supercell thunderstorm has the power of 5 atomic bombs. And we can't control those yet. So as soon as we can control 5 of them, then we have a shot.
Outstanding.
Are you a weather fundamentalist?
Yeah. Let it rain. I'm pretty sure my viewers actually think that.
Do we want to identify the winners each time or just wait for the end?
I'm good with identifying the winners of each round if that works.
Let's do it.
That way people know. All right, so first one that came in here was Just Genis. So that is 1 point. We also have Faith Howell. So yes, I got to add in some names here so I make sure that the spreadsheet is perfect. There we go. 1 point. And of course, after that, we also have Yvette Blackman Tom, who said they were there for the comments, but now you're into the game. So congratulations. All right. Sweet.
Next question is mine. So here we go. Most Earth life is carbon-based, but the original series Horta biology was based on another element. What element was it?
Ooh.
Thinking hard.
Wow, we got a lot of people with Trek knowledge in here.
Seriously.
Yeah. There we go. Now we got some coming in there.
Wow, this is anybody's game.
We've got
anybody's game. All right, we've got a lot of answers in. Let me just zoom back out. So the correct answer, as many of you saw right off the bat, was silicon. So if you're familiar with the periodic table of elements, carbon is just right above silicon on that table. Now, what's cool about carbon, which is what we're based on, carbon, is it can actually bind to 4 other atoms, whereas a lot of other atoms can only bind to like 1 or 2, like H2O. So O can only bind to 2 other atoms. Carbon can actually bind to 4. It allows you to make long strings of carbon. So things like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, those involve those long carbon chains, as they're called. Silicon, in principle, could do the same thing because it's in that same column in chemistry's periodic table. So in theory, it could also bind to a lot more. It's a slightly bigger atom, probably a little bit less likely than carbon to be associated with life because it would prefer to bind with things like hydrogen and oxygen than just a string of other silicons. But it's a neat idea nonetheless. So kudos to the Star Trek writers on that.
Super elegant. Yeah. Love that.
And if we'd like to know the winners of the round, goes to Glenn Iverson getting a point there. We have George. Oh gosh, I always feel bad with last names.
He's a trivia guru.
Charalabamba.
He's from Cyprus. He's a great viewer.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, and then Faith Howell. Sorry for slaughtering anyone's names. With the last name of Nickolaou, I understand how it always happens, but also I'm bad at it.
All great. Dr. Ann Marie, are you ready?
Ready. Okay, it's going to start easy. Okay. So, what device allowed Geordi La Forge to see?
Ooh. It's a medical device. Wasn't glasses.
Yeah. Contact lenses.
I don't know if he was allergic to Retinax or not.
Oh, yeah. We got lots of right answers in there.
Oh, love it.
Well, here's why I put it on, because I'm such a dork. I didn't know. I wanted this to be a learning experience. If you don't know, like I didn't know, that it stands for something cool.
Ooh, okay.
I love an acronym.
What does it stand for?
Wait. Are we done with it? Did it time out? Are we done with the question time? Yeah, I guess enough people answered. Okay, visual instrument and sensory organ replacement device.
They really wanted that to spell visor.
It's awesome, but I love that they included like sensory organ because that's exactly what it is, and it kind of tells you everything. And also, like during the show, we see that it's sort of attached to his brain, and that's what sensory organs do. They synapse into the brain in certain regions so that you can, like for your example, like your optic nerves, and then it sends back out like what you need to see, So pretty awesome. Yes, it's visor, but it's easy.
So David Gregory knew at least the last few letters.
And got 1 point, mind you. David Gregory got a point in that round. So did Faith Howell and David Takechie. I think I'm saying it right. I'm so sorry.
We're happy we got to meet David at the Star Trek Las Vegas this year.
Heck yes!
I don't know if he loved playing bingo with us, though.
I gotta get to STLV, man. I gotta get out there
Love to see you there.
next year.
All right, Katie, you're up. You ready?
Next question. Here we go. What is the maximum strength rating that a hurricane can be assigned? Now, while you answer this, we do have some fun things to mention, because when it comes to hurricanes, they can happen on other planets. It just depends on if there's water found on the planet. Like, the physics is there. It's just a matter of where's that water. Which, you know, interplanetary meteorology is something that I kind of want to do. So that'd be awesome if we could find another planet that has regular old hurricanes. Wow, we got a lot of people who have run-ins with hurricanes here.
It's unfortunate that one person had the right answer, but clearly was pushing the shift button.
I know, I saw that. But I think that we're not.
I think we give them the point for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was I looked down my keyboard, like, that's right. Yes. Oh my gosh. But yes, for anyone who is wondering, that is category 5. And fun fact, the hurricane scale goes from 1 to 5. The tornado scale goes from 0 to 5. So just one of those little tricky things that meteorologists throw in there because we are weird. I don't know. But the winners for that one are, of course, wait a second. I have to type it in because there's new names showing up here. But yes, we have War Dog Hunt coming in with 1 point. We have Glenn Iverson coming in. And then we have Peter H.
Fantastic.
Oh, Peter
question for you. Are there tornadoes at strength 0? And what does that mean?
Yeah, so tornado, if it's an EF0 tornado, it's very weak winds, just over that 75 mile an hour-ish range. And so with a hurricane, typically when you have weaker winds, they talk about it as a tropical storm or a tropical depression. Just they don't assign a number value to it necessarily.
Gotcha. All righty. Well, I'm up next. I'll just jump on in. This one's a long one because you can tell I'm a professor, so I have a long question. Sorry. In the next generation episode, Evolution. By the way, I'll say the answer is not evolution. Wesley releases nanites. Each generation, the population of nanites has new advantageous abilities which spread over the next few generations and become abundant. What is this evolutionary process called? The answer is not evolution, as I said at the beginning.
Helpful hints there.
Yeah. People are typing in the answers.
He's just typing in the background. All the clicking happening around the world on the keyboards right now. Ooh, this one's a trickier one. I'm seeing people possibly
We'll count the partial one, by the way.
Yes. I don't even know if I know the answer to this.
We've got 2 right answers so far. Let's say which one it is.
Oh man.
Well, one more. I'll go ahead and hop out and just start talking about because there's enough of a delay. It'll be fine.
Oh, there you go.
Or we'll have to. Oh, yeah, we're good.
Yay.
So the correct answer was natural selection. So natural selection is woohoo. So and we'll take selection. That's good enough. I mean that still applies. So selection is this idea that basically some variants basically allow you to have more offspring or live longer to have more offspring. And it happens every generation. Natural selection, what's really cool about it is it's mathematically inevitable. Basically, if you have 3 conditions met, if you have variation, like variation in form, that variation then affects survival or reproduction, and it's heritable. Basically, that offspring inherit that trait from the parents. If you have those 3 conditions, you can't avoid having selection happen. So it's mathematically inevitable. It's really cool.
Interesting.
All right. So who are our 3 winners on this one?
Well, Faith Howell continues to come in clutch, getting selection.
Faith.
George Charalambus, I think I got that right. Greek name.
From Crete.
And of course, we also have one Trek.
Or Cyprus. I said Crete. Sorry, my fault.
Yeah. Same region.
Awesome. Dr. Ann Marie, are you ready to go?
I am.
All right, let's jump on this one.
What were psychotricorders used to diagnose and treat?
I actually admit I didn't know the answer to this one ahead of time.
I don't think I know it either.
It's a term that I've mostly heard in TOS, and I'm not sure if I need to go back and check if if they were still using it in TNG at all.
Oh yeah.
But what I do like about it is that it sort of normalizes what they diagnose and treat into being part of health.
Oh, okay.
And that's how progressive Star Trek is, even back in the 60s when there was still a bit of stigma.
Very cool. I actually uploaded all the scripts for all the Star Trek series to our university server so I could do searches really fast.
Nice. Amazing.
Looks like you got the right answers in there. You want to talk about it?
So basically mental disorders or ailments. So my headcanon is that it looks for neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine in the brain to see if the levels are a little bit out of whack. But I just love that Star Trek is so innovative that it recognizes that it's a medical ailment and how to treat it. And hopefully they've worked harder on the treatments in the future.
Nice.
But I'll say it probably catches transporter psychosis, but that isn't strictly for that.
It's too narrow an answer. I need the broader answer. Yeah.
So that would make Jesse Taggart coming in at 1 with mental health. And then would mental disorders also be acceptable as an answer? All right. So then we also have Glenn Iverson, and then we also have Wardogheim.
Fantastic. Thank you, by the way, for keeping track of all these, Katie. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think I'm doing it right.
I'm sure you are.
Amazing.
I'm sure you are. All right. Are you ready?
Ready to go?
All right. Here we go.
All right. The average temperature on Vulcan is fill in the blank. I'll give you a couple of options. Then the average temperature on Earth. Is it above or more than, equal to, or less than? Also, fun fact, that little picture in the corner of me, I was trying to pull off a Q look for Star Trek Day on air, an acceptable Q look. So
that's awesome. I love it.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
Let me spotlight one answer there.
Holy cow, we
Glenn
got
Iverson
so many.
said make sure you keep hitting save on spreadsheet. It's actually in Google Docs, so it's automatically saved every time.
Auto-save. Love it.
All right, we got lots of right answers here.
Oh, this is perfect. Yeah. So everyone knows it's more than. And that's because, Vulcan, you just have the suns, emphasis on the plural there. So a lot more energy. Here on Earth, our average temperature typically isn't even close to that. I believe I wrote it down just to make sure that I could, flex. But our typical temperatures here on Earth are definitely not as much. You have to average, of course, the North Pole, the South Pole, all of that. And for us, the average temperature is around 59 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius, whereas on Vulcan, they average around 43 degrees Celsius, otherwise known as 110 Fahrenheit.
Wow. That's amazing.
So yeah,
living in the desert.
Hot.
All right, next one is me. I got another long
I must announce the winners.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot to announce. Skipping ahead. You're good. No, because I had to actually pull it up. We have, first off, Mike Goo coming in with, you coming in with above, and then David Takchi at more than, and David Gregory coming in at more than as well.
All right.
Nicely done.
Very nicely done. Oh, actually, there's a question here from Medallion.
Ooh. Oh, well, they actually said that one of the main temperatures as you get to the upper edge of the heat wave is around 125 degrees Fahrenheit or 51.6 degrees Celsius. But honestly, I'll bet you it could probably get closer to 200.
Wow. What was that? There was that set of Enterprise episodes, The Forge and stuff like that.
The Forge.
Yeah. I remember that was super hot.
Makes you want to drink some water for sure.
Super hot.
Woo, hydrate time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
All right. Time for a super long one from me. I apologize. In Discovery, Michael Burnham's Red Angel suit worked both for her and her mother. That was because the suit was attuned to this kind of DNA, which is passed on from mothers to offspring without any contribution from fathers. This is a tougher one. We're starting to get into sort of the medium level ones now. A lot of people are saying an answer that is a word they used in the show, but is not actually the correct answer. Oh, some people are having the right one.
I think we got 3 now.
Yep, we do.
All right.
Fantastic. So the correct answer there is mitochondrial DNA. So some people have written RNA, and actually, to some extent, you could almost argue that's true in the sense that you actually do, like the egg has a lot more RNA than the sperm, and that persists. But that wouldn't be the best answer. The best answer would be mitochondrial DNA. That is, maybe you're familiar with mitochondria, also known as the powerhouse of the cell.
Mighty mitochondria.
Mighty
That's why I love
mitochondria.
that. Yeah.
But again, the egg gets those. I'm sorry, the egg. Obviously, the egg comes from the mom, but that's what the mitochondria that then get inherited on into the fertilized egg. The sperm has some in there, but they don't actually particularly get passed on. There are some marine invertebrates which actually do have that, but not for us, at least not for most species out there. So I thought that was a really neat aspect that they put into Star Trek Discovery. Like, wow, DNA that perfectly matches just the mom. Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, and I had nothing to do with that, I should say. That's from season 2.
It's really cool. And like
awesome,
a few inherited diseases come that way.
Yeah.
Also, I think like genetic tracing with family trees, a lot of times we use mitochondrial DNA.
Very good
Really
points on that. That's true. There's ancestry testing. You can do it. You can do matriline versus patriline. By patriline, you can look at the Y chromosome, though obviously only in males. And for matriline, you can look at the mitochondrial DNA. Yeah, absolutely. And use a trace where it originally came from.
Sweet. So in that case, making sure that I got it right, we got Mike Goo or
Goo.
Awesome. I want to make sure I'm getting it as close as possible. Mike Goo. We also have Louise, and we also have Dracorex.
Okay.
Oh, Marina.
Nice. You ready to go, Ann Marie?
I am.
All right.
Why can't Klingons cry?
So much shorter than my question.
You see who's in academia. And just,
no matter how beautiful the opera is.
Oh, I'd love to see a Klingon opera.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
They should do that one of the main stages.
I'm a major Melota fan. Okay, I think we got all three. We have definitely 3. So the answer is they don't have tear ducts.
Oh, they literally can't cry.
Mm-hmm. Humans have 2, and actually, like your tears form in the inner eye, and then they travel over to the right or to laterally to the side of your face, and then drop down. But yeah, Klingons don't have that.
Aww.
Oh, it would mess up their makeup. Also,
I love that. That was just
also a very good response.
There's also this.
Oh my gosh! Toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a great one too.
Oh my gosh! I wish I could give bonus points for creativity.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
I'll be having nightmares about that later.
Are there any other species that you know of that don't have tear ducts? I mean, obviously, ones that
I only mostly know about humans, but I feel like I've heard that about like lizards and stuff in cartoons. But really, I'm pretty limited to humans are also like the rare animal and animal behavior in college.
Where the magic school bus is just like, maybe popping up in my brain.
Yeah, I feel like it was from like a kid's cartoon show that I heard that. But yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we have winners from this round. Glenn Iverson leading that charge. Mike Goo, with a little question mark, but we'll count it. Now, and Yvette Blackman Tom. So awesome.
Oh, here's another one. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. It always moves right as I'm about to do it. This is the one I was looking for.
Duct tape.
Amazing. Seals, goats, and whales. Amazing.
We're almost halfway in. Do you want to give like the overall scores for people real quick?
Yes, absolutely. Let me root to the side. So I will read off the people who have points as of now, and then if you get points, we'll add you to the list. So 1 Trek fan, 1 point. David Gregory, 2 points. Glenn Iverson, 4 points. Jesse Taggart, 1 point. We also have Louise A at 1 point. Peter H, 1 point. Then we get to the bottom of the list, and it's like the heavy hitters. So we have War Dogheim at 2, Yvette Blackman Tom at 2, George Cheralambus. I'm gonna get this right. George Cheralambus at 2, Mike Goo at 3, Just Genus at 1, Faith Howell at 4, David Takchi at 2, and Dracorex at 1.
Gotcha. So who's the highest score again?
Tied between Glenn Iverson right now and Faith Howell.
Okay.
We got a lot of people well within range.
Just to remind people, like first prize is this amazing mask by Walking Art made by Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Who also
has 0 mentioned actually this T-shirt was also by them. If you check out her website, it's actually in the description of this video, so you can check it out and see what other merch she has as well. Second prize is the far less interesting but still kind of cool magnet from BioTrekkie associated with this YouTube channel.
With DNA strand nacelles.
Oh, yeah.
They're the best.
Amazing.
And credit to Stevie Lee, artist. She was actually at the virtual TrekCon's vendor room back in October 2020. And she was the one who actually designed that. So kudos to her.
It's already been a year.
Amazing.
Right? I know, it's scary.
Time has no meaning in South Dakota, man. Okay.
Aww.
Oh my gosh, I love this. DNA cells.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah,
Glenn
that's
Iverson
amazing.
again.
Clever.
Ooh. And we do have a
Very
question.
cool.
Someone said, can we buy the magnet?
Oh, let's come back to that. I don't know. Mostly I'm almost out right now. I only have like 3 left. I'm gonna mail off 2 as part of this, so I'm gonna need to order some more. But if you're interested, like write me and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll probably need to order more anyway, because like I said, I only have 3 left anyway.
And it's still anybody's game.
It's still anybody's
So
game.
Oh, it
keep
really
playing.
truly is.
Yeah. Katie, are you all set to go?
Ready to go.
All right, you're up.
What was the color of the lightning emanated by the ghost of Dr. Crusher's dead grandma in the Next Generation episode Sub Rosa? I basically went to Trek Core and was like, weather, and then found episodes that had weather as a part of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to do this. So if anyone has the traumatizing, oh my gosh, look at all the number of people who were traumatized enough to remember the color of the lightning.
Oh my gosh.
How about that? Well, this is great. So it was green, everyone. In Star Trek, there has been multiple colors of lightning used. And typically on Earth, our lightning colors are seen as white, yellow, purple, or blue. But we do tend to see, all the colors because you have that white light can be separated into different colors. I've personally almost been struck by a bolt of white lightning. And yeah, that was not a fun time. It exploded the road in front of us. But the farther away you are, the more likely you are to see those purple hues, which is really cool. So thank you guys for proving that I didn't go too hard on that question. And we do have our winners. Dracorex coming in with number 1, Yvette Blackman-Tom at number 2. And then we skip down to Jesse Taggart with green at number 3. So those guys get the points.
So what's the story on this lightning that almost hit you? Like, were you doing something that was attracting it, or what?
Yeah, we were chasing tornadoes that day, and we had to core punch a storm in order to get to our hotel on the other side. And it was like a 5-minute drive. We were like, whatever. There's some cool lightning, and it was loud lightning. And then all of a sudden, this bolt just comes down straight, and then like a little kink right before it hit the road. And the thing is, it wasn't a normal bolt; it was a positive bolt. Which there are different types of lightning, by the way. And a positive bolt is 10 times stronger than a negative bolt, which is like the common kind. This one's a more rare type. And so it exploded the road. And our professor, I remember afterwards, came up to me. He goes, if that would have hit the car, we would have been in the hospital at best. And I'm just like, Bart, what?
The crazy thing is, one time I had a patient who was struck by lightning a second time when I was working in trauma, like 2 different times, years apart. Yeah.
There is one man, he was a park ranger, and he was struck 7 times during his life. And when he died, lightning struck his tombstone, which was a really cool thing.
Almost sounds like a joke.
Yeah, I know, right? I love it.
That's how attractive he is.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah. Exactly. That would have been made chasing so much easier if I could just run to the tornado.
Totally. All right. Up next, we've got another long one. And I'll say the answer is not phage. What is an infectious agent brought up in multiple Trek episodes that carries genetic instructions in RNA, but converts these instructions into DNA in the infected host? It's a general category.
You could do this in class. You could just play nerdy Star Trek Q&A for like half an hour.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I do have that class called Genetics Evolution Star Trek. It's not that far off.
I love that. With the companion book.
Oh, we got, yes, we have some correct answers in there. Now, this one, actually, we need the full answer. It can't be the partial one. So the correct answer to this one is...
Some kind of virus. That's so Voyager. Some kind of.
The correct answer is retrovirus. So kudos to you guys for doing that. It's really cool. It literally does exactly that. It injects this RNA into your cell, but then that RNA gets converted back into DNA and incorporates itself into the host, into your cells. So an example of this that afflicts humans fairly regularly is HIV. That is actually a retrovirus.
Really?
Yeah, but it's cool from a sci-fi standpoint because it's an easy way to infect a whole bunch of cells all at once and change them all at once. Because normally they talk about mutations, like mutations are way too random. Like you're gonna have like something here and something there, they're not going to work together. Whereas a retrovirus, in theory, you could engineer to do specific things and change like multiple cells in exactly the same way so that they still work together in some way along the line. Oh, actually, I'll answer a quick question here from Faith Howell. So, do you offer online classes? Not for that one, but actually, if you go to Coursera and just search for Introduction to Genetics and Evolution, I have a course in there, and it's free.
Nice.
So.
Well, and we have clearly some people who don't necessarily need to take the introductory class because they already got the answer right. But that one goes to Mike Goo, Faith Howell, and Dracorex. So
Faith Howell's pushing that lead.
My spreadsheet is it's like a beautiful piece of sheet music, just all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I love this one.
There you go.
Sign me up.
Totally. Oh man. Well, thank you, Katie. Are you ready to go, Ann Marie?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Nice short one.
Unlike human blood, which is iron-based, Vulcan blood is blank-based.
Oh gosh, I don't even know this. Oh, wait, I can maybe deduct it.
I bet you can.
I'm gonna guess.
Oh, I see some right answers coming in. Oh, we already got them.
Okay, good. My deduction was right.
Amazing.
We're all sinking with this ship.
So the really interesting thing about this is, first of all, in a TOS episode, I think it's immunity syndrome. I'm not as good at my TOS episode names, but basically this cloud-like life form feeds by absorbing the iron-based corpuscles. And so Spock is saved because he has a copper-based corpuscles. But the interesting thing about the iron-based corpuscles, really they're talking about hemoglobin. And that's basically like an oxygen transport metalloprotein that has 4 hemoglobin subunits. And then as you pick up oxygen, the oxygen binds to the hemoglobin and it shifts the subunits in the quaternary formation so that you can dump the oxygen in your lungs. That gets absorbed and then, in the rest of your body. And then the blood returns and it's a different formation without the oxygen and it can pick up more in your lungs. So I like to kind of think about how that would work with copper. I haven't quite worked it out, but I'm sure it also is like a some sort of formation thing. I was just reading I think David's comment about does copper oxidize green. So that's I've been giving some thought to that too.
Oop, wrong one.
Because I don't know if iron isn't the reason that our blood is red per se. But I do like that headcanon. So I've been mulling that over in my head a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I only say corpuscle a lot in 1 minute because it's a little bit of an outdated term. So it really jumps out at me in TOS when I hear it so much.
Yeah. So actually, I was going to mention that a lot of the arthropods, so various insects and spiders and stuff like that, actually have copper-based blood. And actually, Jesse Taggart just noted this too. Sometimes it's rather than green, it can be blue or purple too. So very cool. More science in Star Trek.
Yes.
So, who are winners for this one?
Our winners for this one are David Gregory, Glenn Iverson, and Dracorex. We have a lot of people. There's a lot of people with points, which is awesome to see.
That is very cool. I love that it's fairly even across there. I like this one right here.
Yeah. Aw.
There's
nothing else to do in South Dakota, so I'm happy to.
For me, it's my job. Are you ready to go?
Ready.
All right.
This is one of my favorites. What weather event was used to execute 2Q living on Earth in 2356? Bonus points if you remember what state it was. Not bonus points really, but you get brownie points with me. Because this is one where I referenced it on a storm chase and no one understood what I said. It was very sad.
Oh, man, we have some TNG fanatics.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, we have a ton of answers, so I'll go with it already. It was a tornado, and we already have people who are bonus pointing it for Kansas. So yes.
Wow.
There was Broken Bow, a town of Broken Bow, and we drove through it, and I didn't realize it. until I saw the sign that was like Broken Bow, population 26. And I literally screamed. We have these handheld radios, like ham radios, like what they have in truckers' cabins. And I just grabbed it from in front of my professor. I was like, guys, we're in the Star Trek town. But yes, it is a tornado. So bravo to Dracorex, David Takechee, and Just Genus.
I love those
awesome.
Wizard of Oz references in Star Trek. They're the best. Yes. We have one coming up on the 7th rule that's recording this week. Next week. I can't even wait. But okay, no spoilers.
Spoilers.
But it's in the cards. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Did you already say who the winners were? I can't remember.
Yes, David Takechee, Dracorex, and
right.
we also have Just Janus.
Perfect.
Or
All right.
Genus.
These are in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, I've got another long one. Get ready.
Amazing work with the pronunciation, Katie.
It's terrible.
In the Next Generation, The Chase, aliens present an explanation for the shared ancestry of all humanoid species, where planets were seeded with life. What is the real-world hypothesis for this explanation, or the real-world scientific hypothesis for this explanation called? Oh, people are getting it very quickly.
Dang.
I
don't know how they got that so fast.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
Like something I would expect Ryan Husk to remember because of the name.
Exactly.
Poor Ryan. We love Ryan. The correct answer is panspermia. It is the idea that basically the first life form was introduced to Earth from outer space. There's things related to it like pseudo-panspermia, where rather than the first life form, maybe some ingredient for the first life form was introduced from outer space. So that is a real hypothesis. To some extent, we don't know. I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. And in that sense, maybe life was introduced elsewhere. So that explanation is good in the context of saying, why is there a life that is somehow related on other worlds? It actually doesn't work great for why there's so many humanoids on so many other planets, because the idea that 4 billion years later we'd have the same outcome ignores the really, really important role of chance events. Like, did 65 million years ago, like an asteroid knock back the dinosaurs on Romulus and on Cardassia Prime and on Kronos? Like,
all at the same time.
All at the same time. Like, probably not so well. But
they could make that into an episode. Like a different alternate universe launched meteors to cause this humanoid emergence.
Well, there's a funny comment here.
Oh my gosh, the comments.
That darn half.
I also like Borg assimilation.
Oh my gosh.
That can always be the answer.
It was kind of fun in that episode. They actually, the actress who played the alien was the person who played the changeling lady in Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Well, for the people who the 3 people who got in first were War Dog Heim. We also had George Charalambus. I think I'm getting that now. And Dracorex.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
You good to go, Ann Marie?
I am.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, this is a hard one, I think. How long across was the giant space amoeba?
Oh my gosh.
We should say what the units are. The units is in miles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which also, I know that's also a little bit problematic. But we included it just because of the cool science that you can think about when you're thinking of this in terms of like square. What did you call it, Mohamed? The square
cube law.
Well, I always thought of it as like, when I learned it, it was like volume or surface area volume.
Surface area volume, yeah.
This might be the first one that stumps people.
That might stump people. Yeah, so many people are going to be going to Memory Alpha and Googling it.
Yeah, because also it doesn't even make sense. I don't think this thing would actually be alive. But really fun fact for a second, the way that they did the effect in TOS is they put like different colored liquids layered on each other and put them between 2 glass slides and kind of like twisted the slides around the way that you don't want them to twist when you're putting something under a microphone or a microscope. But it's a really cool effect. Let's see. I think.
Who can Google the fastest?
Yeah, I think we got some Googlers here.
It's very difficult. I didn't know.
Interesting.
You want to say give or take 1,000? Then we're good.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, give or take 1,000.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, I think we got 3 anyway.
Oh, okay.
So it's 11,000 miles. But basically the surface area and volume determine the size that something can grow, because you have to be able to like pump all of the nutrients and everything to get to the distant parts of the animal or entity or organism. So I don't know that this is a really realistic size animal, but interesting nonetheless.
Well,
cool.
the people who won the mad dash to Trek Core coming up now. You got one Trek fan coming in, Glenn Iverson
Lisa.
and Jesse Taggart.
Fantastic.
And a point for Memory Alpha.
Yes, bonus point for Memory Alpha.
So this next one is actually the last one from Katie, and then we have
Yes.
one more from Ann Marie, and we have like I guess two more from Ann Marie and me. So, are you ready to go, Katie?
Ready to go.
All right, here we go.
What is the name for the smell of rain? Because in Star Trek, they encounter rain whenever, you need the dramatic mood changed. So, more likely than not, everyone in this chat has encountered this phenomenon, which now has a name. And wow, this isn't hard at all. I failed.
I didn't know it. This was news to me.
I had no idea. I love it.
Really? Well,
I
it is
love that
called
it's
petrichor. Yes, and I ran I made a news piece on it that is now Emmy nominated, and we'll find out this weekend if it wins. But it's actually a phenomenon that can help with depression and anxiety. The smell is because of the rain activating geosmin in the soil, a compound resulting of biodegrading biological material. And it actually releases that smell, and it's used now in perfume, and they're thinking of using it in therapeutic treatments. So really cool. And it's from Doctor Who. Yes, I see Ellie put that. If I win, I have to give a shout out to Neil Gaiman, because he wrote that episode of Doctor Who, which actually inspired me to make my piece. So cross fandoms. But good job to everyone. So I swear, Dracarys has gotten 6 in a row now, which is missed the last one. Almost 6 in a row. But Dracarys coming in, David Takechie and Faith Howell, top 3 right there.
So Katie, you said something really quickly in there that I want to make sure we highlight, because it's a really big deal. Tell us about this Emmy nomination.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what are you wearing?
I have a very cool dress, and it has a cape, and I'm very excited. It's all sequins. Also, I'll tweet out a picture at weather_Katie. Now, but yeah, I actually have 2 Emmy nominations. One is for my individual weather piece on petrichor, and then the other one is for a 30-minute special that I did on the Great Missouri River Flood of 2011. And it's the exact same thing as the actual Emmys. You get the actual statue and everything. They just do it for news. And being a meteorologist, I'm part of news. And first time ever being nominated, and I got it twice. So hopefully I win,
epic.
And we'll see.
That's epic. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It's so impressive.
Oh, thanks,
so amazing.
guys.
It's an honor just to be nominated.
Totally.
Exactly.
Totally.
Especially being young. Because usually these awards,
crazy.
they go to people who are older, who are more seasoned, as they like to call themselves. But it's like, hey,
You're like
I'm
our very
I
own
did a
Bashir.
decent job. Yeah.
I love it.
Lots
I
of
love it
these
so
in here.
much.
Oh, thank you guys all so much. Oh, you're so sweet. I love this community so much.
So cool.
Lots of those. Outstanding. Well deserved. All right, next question. This is it's a Mohamed one, so it's long. I apologize.
Oh my god.
In
Oh,
Deep Space Nine, business as usual. Hagath and Cousin Gaila, the guy with the moon, discuss 2 means of wiping out a population. One of those 2 means they discuss involves an infectious protein, the same kind that causes mad cow disease in the real world. What is this infectious protein called?
Ooh.
This comes up a lot at 7th Row live chats.
Yeah,
So all the 7th Row people are already answering.
I had a feeling. It also came up in a Discovery episode.
I'll come back to that. So that's a great point. So the correct answer is indeed prions, which sometimes gets mispronounced prions, but prions are horrible. It's a protein that we normally make, and it has this particular, so all proteins have a shape. So let's just pretend this is the shape. Prions are ones that change shape. And when they change shape like this and they encounter other proteins like it, they make them change to that same shape too. And it's a shape that once it changes to, you actually can't break it down. So it accumulates in your neurons like, and it just gets worse and worse and worse over time because like nothing can stop it from doing that. So some of you who are older may remember the mad cow disease outbreak in like the UK. The answer was basically kill all the cows that had it. That was the only way to stop it. There's no cure.
Wow.
There are human prion diseases too. If you go to the CDC website, it basically just says there is no cure. You know, all we can do is palliative care. It's like, oh my gosh, they're like really, really, really horrible. So apparently they're still horrible in the future. And as Dr. Ann Marie mentioned, it's one that got slipped in by somebody into a Discovery episode at one point in time too, in season 3, episode 5. I forget what was the episode called? Ditryne. That's it. Ditryne. The alien species there mentions that. So there you go. The more you know.
Well, we have people coming in first, second, and third on this one too. War Dog Heim coming in first, David Gregory at second, and Mike Goo at third.
Outstanding. Oh, War Dog Heim says he knew it from one of my videos. So maybe that's a bit of a cheat. Good job, War Dog Heim. Are you good to go, Ann Marie?
I am.
All right. Here we go. Number 6. For you, number 6.
Where is the Vulcan heart located? And it's approximately the same location as what human organ?
Ooh. Oh, I love this answer.
Man, everybody's so smart.
That's very generous. Thank you, Lisa.
Ooh.
Okay, so we got them all. So the answer is liver. And
right.
Interestingly, in like TOS, at least once, when people like primitive human cultures are checking to see if they're actually people like who are beaming down, they like just put their ear up to their abdomen, like the abdomens of people, or like the upper abdomen, lower chest area, to hear if there's a heart, and that's how they know Spock isn't human. Which, I mean, first of all, you could just look at his ears, but
Yeah.
but they don't hear a heartbeat, which is a little bit off because if you put your like, you would still hear the heartbeat because it's where his liver is. Also kind of interesting just to think about if you're half human, half Vulcan, like how can some of your organs be in the place of humans and some the place of Vulcans? How would they how would the vasculature know how to connect? So that's
why it's so tricky for humans and Vulcans to intermingle so early on.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, basically it's where the liver is, and then liver also breaks down like copper and some other things. So I don't know if that has something to do with Vulcan blood being green. If like the heart is somehow like on a different trajectory with the liver, so that things get metabolized in a different order. I don't know. I have to give that one some thought. But interesting. I love anatomy locations and species comparison. So super dorky about that one.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, I did a lot of like abdominal transplants. So I know liver and kidney and pancreas.
So you mentioned Spock's ears. In I think it was in City on the Edge of Forever. Like they comment about his ears, and didn't they say it was some sort of accident? I can't remember. Like they said it was like a meat grinder or something. I can't remember. They said it was some kind of accident.
Oh, you know what? I want to say like rice, something like a rice picker.
Maybe. Oh, maybe that was it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's one that's totally true.
Oh,
yes.
Right back at you, Marina.
Well, just so happens Drakrick's got 1 point in this round. Same with Glenn Iverson and Just Genus. How did you pronounce it? Genus?
I think he says Just Genus. At least that's how it always gets shouted out.
Genus. Just Genus.
Nice. All right.
Time for more biology.
This is me this time. So,
back to you. Yeah.
Back to you, Mohamed.
It's not so long this time, but it's still long. I apologize. This is my last question actually for this round too. I have some bonus ones if we need like a tiebreaker.
Ooh.
All right. In Enterprise Season 2, the crew encounters the Vissian species, which has a third sex that helps with impregnation. What was this third sex called? Which was also the episode title. Little hint there.
Oh, snap. How do I should know this.
I love this episode.
Oh, same. There's a lot of like episodes in Enterprise that are seriously underrated in the first 2 seasons.
It's just like heart-wrenching.
Somebody came close.
I think
we got 3 now. Yeah, we got 3 now. The correct answer is indeed cogenitor. And it was never
All right.
fully explained what happens here. I remember Trip Tucker was talking to Dr. Phlox about it at some point in time. He's like, I have pictures. And Trip was like, I'm good. Never mind. I don't want to know. But you mentioned
He's
something
like,
about
send
maybe...
me those, I'll look at them later.
Yeah, right. You said something about maybe introducing an enzyme or something like that to help with the fertilization process. Now, we don't know of anything like that here on Earth, but I mean, the closest thing you could think of would be something like helpers, basically things that help with reproduction. So like social insects, right? We have the queen who's laying her eggs, and then we have all these other relatives basically who are helping out, taking care of the legs. I was taking care of the eggs. Sorry, not the legs. Maybe those two.
Oh,
Maybe. Also, in various
cares.
also in various bird species, you sometimes have helpers at the nest. The thing they all have in common, that this might be something that may be true for the cogenitor, never came up, is that these helpers tend to be related to the ones who are actually reproducing. So therefore, by contributing this effort towards reproduction, they're helping copies of their genes also get passed on. And sometimes it might even be better for them to help, like, a sister have 5 more kids than themselves have 1 or 2 kids, depending on exactly the relationship and what kind of genetic inheritance they have going on there. But it's pretty cool.
It's so cool. That's game theory, right?
I don't know if there's something called Hamilton's rule, which talks about the relationship there and relative, basically cost versus benefit in relation to the relationship. Yeah.
So cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you who understands this whole concept. My transitions are trying to struggle a little bit.
Awesome. Come on.
We have Glenda B coming on the board now with 1 point. And we also have Glenn Iverson. And we have just Genus.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Co-janitor, which is what Marina had interpreted as when she seen it the first time.
I love co-janitor.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Or it's like Daniel's.
All right. Are you ready to go, Ann Marie?
I am.
All right. This is our last scheduled question, but we're happy to do tiebreakers.
Ooh, there could be a tie.
There could be a tie. We'll see what happens.
All right. What degenerative neurological disease did Picard have in the anti-time future of TNG All Good Things?
TNG had so many neurological diseases. Oh my gosh.
I love it. Neurological diseases are so fascinating. And then it also sort of gets alluded to again in Picard episode 2 when they're talking about Picard's newest neuroscan.
That's a good point from Melissa. Could be.
It should be. Like, I have a brother and one of my nephews who has very Vulcan ears at birth.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got
in a
lots
really
of
adorable way. Okay, yes. So aromatic syndrome, basically Picard has like a little bit of a structural abnormality in his parietal lobe, which is sort of the back of your head on the side. And so I guess they're thinking like maybe the first signs can be like confusion or even like go to delusions, which those are kind of generalized symptoms. It's nothing like super specific. But that's why he's always like afraid, like, am I just getting confused or having like some sort of outburst, like when somebody on the news is sort of blaming the Mars attack on me? Or is that just a reasonable reaction? So I think he's trying, like a lot of times the neurological diseases, they'll have those early symptoms are really vague. So it's a little bit confusing, but hopefully he doesn't have it anymore now that he's a golem. Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Well, would you guys like to know who has the points and who is tied?
Yes, please. So actually, tell us first about this one and then the overall.
All right. First one about this one. Glenn Iverson coming in with a point. We also have Drac Rex getting a point and Ellie Nerdinger getting 1 point for the first time on the board.
All right.
So a lot of people in the chat have popped up on the board. And so I'll give you guys the numbers and names, and then we'll talk about the tie if that works for you guys.
Okay.
Awesome. First off, 1 Trek fan, 2 points. Can split that up is a 1-person Trek fan. David Gregory, 4 points. Glenda B, 1 point. Glenn Iverson, 9 points. Jesse Taggart, 3 points. Louise A, 1 point. Peter H, 1 point. Wardogheim, 4 points. Yvette Blackman Tom, 3 points. George, I messed up George. How? Oh,
Oh,
wait,
I
did I mess it up?
thought you were saying David. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no. We're good. George Charalambus, 3 points. Mike Goo, 5 points. Just Genus, 4 points. Faith Howell, 6 points. David Takechi, 4 points. Dracorex, 9 points. And Ellie Nerdinger, 1 point. So we have a tie. And that tie is between Dracorex and Glenn Iverson.
Glenn Iverson, always the top 2 trivias of every virtual TrekCon trivia game ever.
Wow.
Is there a tie for third also, or is it just the?
Let's see. Tie for third. Let me check and see. I think the next highest one, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not, 6 points, Faith Howell.
Okay, so Faith Howell safely got a magnet. Woo! Congratulations. Yay! This is yours.
Pew, pew, pew.
All right. I have 2 backup questions. They're both fairly easy, so this is going to be mostly a speed one. Everybody can jump in, but we're just going to score the 2 tied folks, okay?
All right, we're going to do all the tiebreakers or just one tiebreaker?
Well, that's a good point. Well, I'm afraid to do 2, and then we'll get
Yeah.
Let's just do 1. We're also just almost out of time, too. All right. You guys ready? It's pretty easy. DNA is packaged onto these long threads, of which humans have 23 pairs. What is it?
Ooh.
Ann Marie's like, oh, I know this.
My AP biology class is like, you know this.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we have a winner.
I think we do. That's Glenn Iverson, chromosomes.
Woohoo! Chromosomes. That is the correct answer. So just a
Great
quick
job,
comment
everyone.
Quick comment on genetics and Trek. It's very interesting that if you go back to the original series, they almost never mention any sort of genetics. Almost never. But it makes sense for the time because like we hadn't even sequenced DNA yet at the time. And I say we, I wasn't even born, but the people then hadn't sequenced DNA yet at the time or anything like that. You go to Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, you have a big step up. Enterprise has like genome all the time, and like something like 25% of the episodes mention DNA or genes, and like 10% have the word genome in them. And then you have Discovery with like all the modern stuff like horizontal gene transfer and things like that showing up. So.
Imagine how impressive it's going to be in like 20 years when they reboot again or like do a new series. Just impressive.
This is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
So who is our number 1 winner? The winner who gets a mask from Walking Art made by Malissa. This LLAP mask.
Number 1, getting double digits, Glenn Iverson at 10 points.
Oh my gosh. Yet again, Glenn Iverson.
Good job, Glenn.
Impressive. And of course, I will be highlighting this so everyone on the spreadsheet can know. But we also have Dracorex coming in at 2nd place, 9 points. And then at the end, we also have Faith Howell, who grabbed all the early points with 6 points.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
So all you guys who are in there, like send me a note through whatever means. I mean, you can just Google me to get my email address if you don't already have it, or Facebook message, or through the 7th rule. What's it called? What's the word I'm thinking of? Not Patreon, the Discord. Whatever. Basically, just let me know, and then I'll arrange for transportation of your goods to you. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Before we close out, let's just tell everybody where they can find you online. It's also in the information box below. But Katie, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. So you can find me on the internet all over the place, mostly at weather_Katie. I am on Twitter. I'm on TikTok, which those are my 2 main ones. But I also do a YouTube channel called So Many Random Fandoms, which you might have seen me in the chat. I'm going to pop it in just in case. And I just post all of my fun, nerdy stuff right there. So feel free to reach out, say hi. I love saying hi back. And it's been a great time, guys.
And also recently started a podcast specifically going over episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the best animated series ever.
Join Order of the Blue Lotus.
Lower Deck.
True.
Dr. Ann Marie?
Oh, I'm on Twitter at Ann Marie Segal 1. And then I'm always at the 7th Rule live chats. So come play with us there.
Awesome. For me, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of those things, the same username. It's M like Mohamed, A, F like Frank, Noor, and like November, OOR. Easily find me there. Or in YouTube, you can subscribe to this channel. You're already here. You can subscribe to this channel called BioTrekkie Explains and see more science behind Star Trek videos. So with that, Thank you all for playing. Big thank you to my co-host. Woo!
Big thank you for you for organizing it.
This was
My
so much
pleasure.
fun. And
I
thank
hope you
you
all-
for everybody playing.
Absolutely. And thank you for attending and participating in the virtual TrekCon 2021. Keep watching. The link to go to the next video is there in the description box. So just click on there and keep interacting with us and Trek on.
Bye, guys. Wait, I did the wrong side. There we go.
All good.